Hey YouTube, I'm professional guitarist and music educator Korey Hicks, and today we're going to be talking about 5 things that will instantly improve your guitar playing. So get your guitar and let's dive right in. Number 1 is going to be cycle for everything. I want to give you an example. Let's say that I'm learning Larry Carlton's solo on Nightcrawler, one of my favorite solos of all time. Let's take a listen. So if you're not familiar, cycle 4 is putting the notes of the chromatic scale in fourths. And it goes like this: C, F, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, F sharp, B, E, A, D, and G. So usually I'll have my students practice them on each string set. So the low E, C, F, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, F sharp, B, E, A, D, and G. If I move that to the A string, I would have C, F, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, F sharp, B, E, A, D, and G. Now, why is this super important? Well, number 1, if I'm learning a phrase, it is a good idea to make it usable to me so that I can take something I've learned from this Nightcrawler solo and be able to play it in other keys. So, first of all, this solo is using an E Mixolydian scale. Now, of course, E Mixolydian is not just a pattern. Anywhere on the neck that I have E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, and D natural, I have an E Mixolydian scale, E Mixolydian mode. So I could take this from anywhere. So I can take it anywhere I want. I don't have to do it in the same location that Larry did it. He did it here. So cycle 4 means that I'm going to take this phrase that I've learned from the Nightcrawler solo, and I'm going to put it in other keys, meaning that I'm going to be able to play it in any of the 12 Mixolydians, so I'll have vocabulary to play when it comes up. This lick is easy because I'm starting on the root, sliding into the major third of E7, playing the perfect fifth of E7, and then taking the 13 or the 6 and bending that up to the flat 7. So this is exactly like playing an E7 chord. Same exact notes: E, G sharp, B, D natural. And I'm saying D natural instead of just saying D because in the E major scale it's D sharp, so I want to be specific when I'm speaking about this. So let's take this in the key of C Mixolydian. So I started on the note C, played through that C7 arpeggio. Let's go to F. Let's go to B flat. Let's go to E flat. Let's go to A flat. Let's go to D flat. Let's go to F sharp. Let's go to B. Back to E. To A. To D, and a G. So where would be a great place to use this lick? Well, in a blues, of course. So if I'm playing a blues and let's say B flat. Number 2 is the gatekeeper method. Let's say that I was learning a solo like John Mayer's Waiting on the World to Change. When I'm learning the solo, I'm only going to be learning a few notes at a time and then repeating that. Let me show you what I mean. So how am I doing this? Well, let me show you something. This is the Vidami Blue. This is something that I got a couple years back, and this is an amazing device that I use to help me transcribe stuff on YouTube. So you can just use your foot to click back, and you don't have to keep moving the mouse around, doing that type of thing. And it saves me a lot of time. But notice what I'm doing. When I'm practicing this, go back. Go back. Go back. Once you're confident that you have this perfectly, remember, don't practice till you get it right, practice till you can't get it wrong. Then I'm going to add a new note. Go back. Go back. See, what I find a lot of students do is when they're learning something new, it could be a riff or a lick, an idea, a chord progression, or a solo, what they do is they learn the whole thing and then they try to memorize it afterwards. It's way too much information. Imagine if you were memorizing a part in a play and you have a whole paragraph of text. You wouldn't read all the way to the bottom and then try to memorize it. You would do one sentence at a time. When pros are learning songs for set lists, we're playing along with the recording. That's another thing I find students don't do. They're trying to learn songs directly from tab, and they're not even using the recording. The recording is your guide. The tab is just a supplement. So when I'm learning songs for a gig, for example, and I might have to learn 40 songs in a week, I'm just using the recording. I'm using a device like this Vidami, and I'm just going over each section multiple times until I have it perfect. Now, what also helps learn these things perfectly is knowing the entire scale that you are practicing in. So for example, this song is in D major. So knowing all of my D major patterns is really important. There's D major from the 3rd scale degree, D major from the 4th scale degree, D major from the 5th scale degree, here's D major from the 6th scale degree, D major from the 7th scale degree, D major from the 1st scale degree. You get the idea. And so what I'm doing is I'm learning all of the different patterns of that thing, all the different chords that go in there. Maybe I'm practicing my caged chord, so here's D and a 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 D. And then I'm going to move through the other chords in that key. Here's a G and a G and a G and a G and a G, or an A and 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 an A. So I'm collecting all the various things that are in that key. And then when I go to learn the song, I have everything I need to practice. I don't have to go outside of the song to locate things, because they're all right here. Number 3 is ergonomics. Something really important that I think you should do is stand when you practice. If you're an electric guitar player, if you're an acoustic guitar player, that's a different thing. The only time I ever sit when I'm playing guitar is if I'm doing a video like this or if I'm teaching. Those are the only times that I am going to sit. When you stand with an electric guitar, everything is going to be in the right place. It's going to allow yourself to relax. Another thing that I find a lot of students do is they Johnny Cash the guitar, meaning they kind of play like this and they have the guitar in the center of the body. You want the guitar sticking out this way. And what this does is it keeps your pinky in a straight line with your forearm. This is what you want to look for. Oftentimes students are saying they can't reach like this is a G-caged shape of B major. So my pinky is on B, and my pinky is in a straight line with my arm. And so I'm reaching to the left. I'm not doing this straight on thing and then trying to reach to the right. The same thing is true if I'm trying to do an open position, let's say a 1, 2, 3, 4 exercise. A lot of students will suggest that they can't play with the pinky, it can't reach. And so what you have to do is kind of trick the mind. Put the pinky on that 4th fret, allow your arm to relax. You're going to be making an acute angle with your arm and the neck. Now look, I can touch way back beyond the nut. The ulnar nerve controls the pinky and the ring finger. If you've ever hit your funny bone, you know what I'm talking about. There's not a lot of stretch there, but there is a lot of stretch between the 1st finger and the middle finger. So whenever you're playing, a good idea is to bring that guitar neck out from your body so that you can create a straight line with your pinky and the back of your arm. You don't want to bend your wrist over like this. Do you see how I have a bend? I want straight. And the same thing is true for my right arm. This is one of the biggest problems people have when they get tendonitis or overuse injuries. It has to do with the right arm, not the left arm, the picking hand. So what often is the case is people are doing the same thing. They're bending the wrist over. So they'll plant their hand and then try to reach individual strings. Okay? So what you want to do is use a clock face motion. The arm rests on the top bout of the guitar up here, and a clock face. My wrist does not change its position. If I'm playing the low E and I go to the A, this clock face keeps on going down. Okay, so you're going to meet each string as you're playing. This keeps a neutral position of the wrist, and you're not going to get any sort of nerve problems or tendon problems. This goes nicely into number 4, which is consistency in tools. Use the same strap for your guitar every time. Keep it at the same strap height. I don't use straps that are adjustable on their own. I have ones that you have to put them through a loop so they stay in place. I use the exact same picks whenever I play. The same type of pick, I mean. So a lot of people have a jar of picks that they use, and every day they pick out a new one, or they're constantly playing with picks. Every single time that I've tweaked a nerve, gotten some weird pain in my arm, or a lot of stress or tension, it's because I am changing picks. You want to keep what you use the same every single day. Imagine if you were practicing all week on a men's basketball and you went to the game and you're using a women's ball. Your shot's going to be off. The same thing is true for all of your tools. Another thing about picks you will notice is that if you buy like a pack of celluloid picks, for example, or Tortex, it's really bad with this. Half of them are bent down, the other half of them are bent up. I go through a pack of picks and I take a look at each one to make sure that they're as straight as possible. That can have a huge effect on your playing. String spacing is another thing that's super important, both at the bridge and at the nut. You want to have the strings in equal spacing so that your hand can comfortably go to each string. I notice this a lot on Telecasters that don't have a groove in the saddle. You might have a couple of the strings that are really close together and a couple of them that are far apart. You want to have the same distance between strings. This allows your right hand to relax. It knows where the string is. I've often noticed on a lot of modern Fender guitars, the nut is cut wrong. You might have these 3 lower strings sandwiched together and a big gap between the higher strings. And so when you're playing chords, it feels uncomfortable because these strings are not where they're supposed to be. So a lot of nuts are narrower, some of them are wider. And so I have a couple of my guitars that have very similar nuts so that when I go in between these guitars, it's the same playing experience. When you are developing your technique, you want to have the same basic feel on your guitars from guitar to guitar. I set them all with the same action. I set them all up the exact same way. Another tip would be playing the exact same guitar every single day and not switching so much. The biggest technique gains I ever got in my life were when I used one guitar for a very long stretch of time. You get used to it, and your body relaxes, and your technique improves even faster. Number 5 is the scatter system. This is my own personal way of organizing information for practice sessions, and I started developing this when I was head of the guitar division at Visible Music College. Scatter stands for scales, chords, arpeggios, triads, improvisation, and reading. And simply it's this. If I have a key of the day, let's say my key of the day is going to be A major. I'm going to play all of my scales in that key. Basically collecting all the information from that key. You get the idea. Practicing all my scales in every single pattern, and then I'm going to practice all the triads in every single pattern, all the arpeggios, all the 7th chords, all the tensions. It could be a pentatonic in all the positions. But it also could be the triads. Here are my A chords. Here are my D chords. Here's my E chords. It could also be the arpeggios. Here's an A major 7, B minor 7, C sharp minor 7, D major 7, E dominant 7, F sharp minor 7, G sharp minor 7 flat 5. So I'm grabbing all of my structures. It could be the drop 2s in that key. Let's say I want to take that B minor 7. Those are all my B minor 7 drop 2s on that string set. So I'm finding everything that I can in that key, and I'm devoting maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes for each one of these sections, and I'm doing this every single day in a different key, so I'll do that cycle 4. Day 1, I'll do this with C major. Day 2, it'll be F major. Day 3, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, F sharp, B, E, A, D, and G. So I'm going through every key. Over the course of 12 days, you have every single structure in every single key and every single mode of every song that you're probably ever going to see. And what this does for students is it gets you used to playing in all keys, It gets used to playing every single chord in that key, every single triad, every single arpeggio. If you want to learn more about the scatter method, you can go on over to my Patreon. I have tons of information over there. Everything from how to practice the arpeggios, where to find the triads, what are the scale patterns, note recognition, all that scale theory, that type of stuff. That's going to be over on Patreon. That's in the description below. You can head on over there. Also, for $5 a month, you'll get access to everything that is on the basic tier. That's all these videos, all the PDFs, all the instructional content. And for $10 a month, you're going to get access to all the intermediate content. And so this is going to be the intermediate guitar in a year course, where we're going through all the modes, we're going through all the chord scales, improvisation, learning songs by ear, music theory, ear training, arranging, and all of that type of stuff. Well, if this has been helpful, please like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. And guys like me, I support my wife and 7 children by teaching, doing videos like this, and playing gigs. So you'll be helping out a musician support his family. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.